All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures are down about 91 points this morning, and that's really because of United Health Group. UNH is down about 5.66%. This morning. I believe there was a headline regarding some healthcare lawsuit. I was trying to look for that, but kind of got away from me since the PPI came in. NASDAQ futures green, pretty much flat, S&P flat. Russell's up 0.22%. Volatility index is up 0.34%. The dollar index is down 0.41% on that softer PPI. Remember, we have the FOMC today. We'll go ahead and talk about the prep and what I'm looking for. Crude oil hit $70 a barrel. I mean, we were long, but again, we played it safe ahead of the CPI number, up 1.12%. Again, we're playing that 200 weekly MA. If we retest it, we'll go ahead and shoot it again. $2.57 for gasoline futures, up 0.58%. Gold futures, $19.69. Again, we're waiting for 2,000 is the target, but again, ahead of FOMC, want to manage risk. Silver futures, $23.98. Copper futures, up as well, $3.85. Euro dollar, 108.32. Let's go to Forex land rather quickly. I sent this over this chart on Twitter and to our Forex team. I got an alert above 108.35. That is the 201 4-hour moving average. The goal is to target 110, obviously. That would be our target, or right around this area right here, 110.19, 110. So a couple of pips, 20 pips away. Goal is to break that and see if the dollar continues to slide. Here's the problem. We have FOMC, and we really don't know what will happen. I expect us to pause. The data supports a pause, but anything could happen. I mean, we could get a hawkish Fed. So that leads me to my prep. So again, I'm just watching Euro USD, more than likely not going to fill it. But let's go over the note I said yes, the note this morning that I wrote. I put quick thoughts on PPI. Let me give you guys the number here. Here's the number. PPI year over year actual 1.1%. The forecast was 1.5%, so that's a beat. Month over month actual negative 0.03%, 0.3%. Excuse me. Forecast was negative 0.1%. Core met in line 0.2%. Again, we're stripping away gas and autos, and core PPI 2.8% versus 2.9%. So again, the PPI number is really more energy, oil, and gas. We know that. Gas, oil, heating, utilities are going down, obviously because oil's down. I mean, that's what happens. So with that being said, what does this mean? So quick thoughts on PPI. Inflation is falling, but we already knew that. Next month, we expect a bigger rollover, meaning more of downside, because July last year was the peak. If you take the highest number out of your set of data points, that will drag down the average. Obviously, again, we expect a summer rally, which we've talked about. The summer rally really is going to just be seasonally moving. We're not going to hit all-time highs this summer, so don't worry about missing out on anything. But again, you're going to get moves. Again, dips are opportunities. More than likely, today will be a sell the news event. Why? Look at the past 6 meetings of the Fed. Right at 2 p.m., which is right when we have the FOMC announcement, we kind of fall a little bit. And then right when Powell gets on the horn and starts talking, something he'll say gets everyone excited, and then we roll over. Again, these are the past 6 meetings. Anything could change. For all we know, we could soar today. But looking at historical data, best to just keep risk in check. So again, we want to welcome any and all pullbacks as opportunities. We want to be tactical as we move forward. In terms of what I saw yesterday from the session, imagine if we had a really good CPI. CPI wasn't exactly that impressive. Wasn't amazing, but again, the market is running with it. High beta growth is gaining, where the bears are probably covering their shorts from last year. Ended up at the top end of the range today on Qs. But other than that, pretty choppy off the indices. Initial pop this morning. That was a good place to sell into strength. Same thing. We want to sell into strength today. So again, if we get some bids, we want to close up and clean up our positions. If it's to the long side, again, ahead of the event, we don't know what will happen, but we know what's happened historically. The last 6 meetings, we get a tank chop. So again, just don't want your premiums to get crushed. With that being said, what could happen tomorrow? I mean, I expect them to pause. We'll soar initially. Again, sell into strength. Then for the most part, right when Powell starts talking, he'll get a tough question and the market pulls back from the initial reaction levels. I don't see Powell speaking. Give me a second. I had the wrong thing. That was our alerts. This is why I wrote it down. What we do is we get an initial pop into the reaction. Again, we'll store initially, and for the most part, he gets a tough question. Market pulls back from the initial reaction levels. I even said here, I don't see Powell do many favors for the market, at least right now. If anything, he will pause, they'll make the pause, and then call it a hawkish pause, which is basically seeing we are pausing but holding, but we can go higher. That right there might be enough for people to freak out and get a dip again, and you guessed it, we'll look for calls for the upside. I want to go over Tesla rather quickly, and then we'll get to the questions. Tesla, you could see we did hit as high as, I think, let me see here. How high did we go? We got into 264.88. Again, the level here is the gap fill, and we've been talking about that gap fill right here at 261.88. Now that we have filled, what now? I hate to say it, but you can look for puts here. Why am I saying that? When you get the initial gap fill, it doesn't mean that it goes directly higher. But again, we can take some profits. We can use 265.09 as a stop and then kind of see if we can get a little bit of a pullback to this gap fill at 235. Tesla has been up, what, 13, 14 consecutive sessions? It's kind of tough to signal that, but again, we can watch it. So again, I'm leaning towards the pullback side of Tesla, not because I hate the company. I'm an investor. I love Tesla, yes. But again, we're just playing the charts. Forget Tesla, forget the name. Again, just cover the name on the left side. You can call it whatever company you want. Call it Target if you hate Target. Call it Starbucks if you hate Starbucks. But again, just play the technicals. 265 at 38.2 fib could be resistance, just short term. Again, all dips are opportunities, so you can either wait for that dip, for that gap to fill on the daily. Take a look at it here. And again, we are all above major moving averages. But again, 235 from here is not the worst thing in the world. That might give people an opportunity to get in or buy some more shares. So again, I expect us to maybe test 265.09, reject that on Tesla, and then see if we can get back to the gap fill. And again, dips are to be welcome. It doesn't mean the market is dead or the market's over. Look for dips as opportunities. Does it make sense if they pause? Well, that's the Federal Reserve for you. They don't make a lot of sense all the time. Should have paused it next month. Now seems a little hiking now. Again, we don't know what will happen. I can give you the expectations from different banks. Let me see if did I send that? No, I didn't. Let me go ahead and get on Twitter and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm seeing in terms of what people are expecting. Let's go to tweets. All right, tweets. Sometimes this does go very slow. This is our banner. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. So many things. Here we go. So economists largely expect a pause in June. So this is what we got, at least from the banks. This is from Bloomberg. Bank of America calls for a pause. Barclays calling for a pause. Citi is the only one out of these that are expecting a rate hike, 25 basis. Deutsche, Goldman, JPM, Morgan Stanley, Nomura, and Wells Fargo all expect a pause. Doesn't mean we have to have a pause. It just means what they expect. So it kind of seems that the market is pricing in a pause already. Doesn't that kind of go inside with a sell the market, sell the news event? That's what I'm thinking. And again, completely healthy, completely natural if we do. Doesn't mean the world's ending. Thank God, you need to welcome it. We need a pullback. I mean, we need prices to reset. The VIX is too low. 1467 is very low. A very complacent market. If we get some kind of dip, again, I don't want you guys freaking out. I want you to expect it. BA has been moving quite fast. Yep, BA. I was looking at doing the 225 calls for the team. We decided against it because of FOMC. So I still think 225 is coming. Tesla filled that gap, so we can see exactly about shorting. But really, Boeing really has until 224 to around 229, 230. The problem is that it's just chopping around. And that 220 call I had last week, on Monday it soared. Caterpillar, we closed Caterpillar yesterday. We had the 240 calls. I mean, that thing soared. Why? Because it filled the gap. Here we go. We broke it down. Filled the gap right here. Done. Now you got another gap here at 238.95. We're starting to see some downward gaps that need to get filled. If Caterpillar were to go higher, guess what? 261 would be the next level. We also had AMD this week. Now AMD is at 127.45. We had the 125 calls, and it's been very, the 130 calls, I think. So again, very choppy on AMD. We got out at the right time. Netflix we took yesterday as well, and you can see that's pulling back. So again, this is normal. We're going to expect some kind of pullbacks. I expect the actual market to close red today. So yes, I expect the market to close red, and then tomorrow it'll be bullish. That's what's probably going to happen. SPY-G, yeah, I mean, SPY-G has all the mega caps, man. So you got Tesla exposure, you got Microsoft exposure, you got Nvidia exposure, you got Apple exposure. If you want growth, SPY-G is pretty much the one to buy. Heavily shorted though. Yeah, that's true. So you kind of have a push-pull sort of thing. But again, I think that we end the day red because the pause is basically baked in my opinion. We need a reason to buy, especially at these elevated levels. If we get a pullback, then you'll get an opportunity because you're saying, hey, at least prices are cheaper. That gives me a little bit of a reason to buy. But again, I expect us just to chop a little bit, maybe stay around 435 SPY, 437 SPY like we are now, really until the meeting. May not even go red initially, who knows? But again, right when he starts talking, I expect this stupid term hawkish pause from CNBC or Bloomberg today. And then that'll probably give us the market red, which will give us opportunity to play calls tomorrow. Technically speaking, again, based on the stupid almanac, which is, hit or miss, it is a bullish day on the almanac. And then Friday we have OPEX. So we have options expiry closing tomorrow. So we'll have opportunities. Just a reminder, on Monday, the market is closed. The market is closed for the Juneteenth holiday. So you have a short week again. So we were sandwiched between 2 short weeks, Memorial Day and Juneteenth, and we had 2 full trading weeks. SPY calls, I would not do SPY calls here. No, we would want a meaningful dip. What does that look like? At least get me to 432, maybe 430. Just get me back to where Monday was. Not the hardest thing in the world. I mean, $7 from where we are. I'll take the discount. I think that'll be the place I want to go and buy SPY. Why do you like the term hawkish pause? Because it's nonsense. And CNBC needs viewers. Bloomberg needs viewers. Again, news outlets don't do well when things are good. The highest audience rating for CNBC is when they have markets in turmoil. You don't read the paper to see everything is great. And we know this because people on social media and people in the news outlets, they like to be upset. They like to argue online and say this and say that. A newspaper saying everything is okay, live your life, that's not going to sell many copies. Fear is a great way to sell. It always has been because it's an emotion. So again, CNBC is not going to give you, hey, buy stocks now. Bloomberg is not going to give you a ticker and say, hey, all clear. That's where you got to do the research and see, hey, what's the market telling me? What's the world telling me? Is everyone still pessimistic? Why? Price changes sentiment. Why do they have to close market on Monday? Rolls eyes. Well, it's a federal holiday. Juneteenth was the actual date, I think, post the Civil War of the freedom of the slaves. Believe that was just passed in terms of a federal holiday. So the way I see it, rest up, feel better, kind of relax and enjoy the 3-day weekend. We got the Canadian Grand Prix this weekend on Sunday, NBA Finals, that's done. All we got is what? Baseball, we got F1 racing, Champions League, soccer's done. Now we're just going to watch the transfer window. So again, I'm a big F1 fan, so that's what I'll be doing on Sunday. It's nice to have Monday off as well. All right, guys, so that's where we are. Again, the main thing I want to drive home is do not be surprised on the price action we get today. Just don't. Again, welcome. Yes, hate to say it, but you kind of want to cheer for a downside. You want a shot, right? It goes tomorrow to 4,800. You're going to be really pissed if you missed it. But now you know the bottom is in. Now you know structurally the bull market is pretty good place. A little bit of a discount. Again, think of it as Black Friday where you could buy a TV for $200 or something. You're going to go out there and buy it. You're not going to go and buy a car when they say, hey, we're 20% above the lows on MSRP. Well, wait for something. Wait for something. That's it. That's right. The U.S. Open on Sunday. That's right. That's not my favorite major. My favorite major is the Masters, personally. So, I mean, I'll watch the U.S. Open here and there, but I do love watching golf. That's for sure. I wish they played at Pebble this year. That's my favorite course. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We will see you tomorrow for the morning note. I will make sure to keep you guys updated on the blog and on Twitter. Again, the FOMC rate decision. I'll go ahead and post that on Instagram today. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers, guys.